It's your boy Online Davo, and we back with another video. Look, we got a video about Manny J. Wright. How Reagan ruined Black America, man. And boy, if y'all didn't know before, I hate Ronald Reagan, bro. I hate that nigga. Fuck that nigga, bro. Okay, the amount of damage he done to black people is so crazy. And I haven't even dove all the way into everything he did, just based off of the little research I did. Bro was the devil. The devil, literally. But we're going to get into this video. We're going to learn some new stuff. So sit back and try not to rage quit, man, because concentrated effort.
Reagan didn't need to say black to declare war on us. He didn't have to. He used words like welfare queen, law and order, and the war on drugs. But who was he really talking about? When Reagan took office in 1981, black communities in America were just starting to see real progress after centuries of legal denial against them. Then he pulled the rug, slashed housing, cut education, dismantled welfare, and called it reform. At the same time, he militarized the police and jump-started the war on drugs. A war that didn't go after the Wall Street coke users, but instead went after the low-hanging fruit, the black Americans and black communities across the United States. The language sounded neutral, but the impact wasn't. This is how the system reinvented itself, and we're still paying for it today.
See, they always try to make it seem like it's a neutral and that everyone will see benefits from it, but that's never how it goes, bro. That's never how it goes. It's a system. It's a system that's meant to pop up one group and oppress another group. So whatever law they put in place, someone else is going to benefit the most from it, and the oppressed group is obviously going to benefit the least, even if they try to make you believe that they benefit the most.
This is Reaganomics 101. I remember being a young child, and I remember there being local programs in our communities, whether it was these various community centers that had, elders and adults who would provide opportunities for us to do any number of things, whether it was sports, whether it was, additional educational training or tutoring. And there used to be double Dutch competitions, and the young girls who were good enough, they would travel across the region and across the country in these other competitions against.
It's crazy too. I grew up in San Francisco, and we had little stuff like this growing up also. We had like programs like, Boys and Girls Club, and we had, place called Ella Hill Hutch. We had this African American Culture Center. So we had little stuff in the community, like they'd teach us how to paint, they'd teach us how to make songs. It could be any type of song you want, teach you how to record it, how to, produce it, all that little stuff. Like, it was hella cool, like teach you little woodwork and stuff. But it was like and then there's another program that damn near paid you to go. Like if they pay you to go there, you just like, help out around the area. So there is some programs out there, but somewhere along the way, like, I don't know when, I just stopped going to that motherfucker. I don't know if it started costing too much, or if they closed it down, or if it just, there wasn't a new influx of kids in the neighborhood that joined, because everybody kind of eventually grew out of it, and, started to do their own little shit in life. But yeah, they be having little stuff in the community, but it needs people to, to keep on funding it, because ain't nothing free.
Girls from other cities, and it was very communal. And the same with the drill teams. You had these drill teams, these young boys and these young girls who would travel across the region and across the country for these competitions, not to mention the summer programs where you had teenagers who will work during the summers, high school and college students who will work at camps, for elementary and middle school kids, and they would spend the summers together, and they would go on trips and vacations. And then towards the end of my high school years, all of this finally this whole infrastructure just disappeared. So basically, we're talking about what life was like for Black Americans after the Civil Rights Movement. So things like affirmative action, public housing, and welfare were designed to correct centuries of legal mandates against black progress. So
Right.
Reagan takes the helm around 1981.
For those who've abandoned hope, we'll restore hope and we'll welcome them into a great national crusade to make America great again.
His administration
Oh,
started.
wait, that nigga said that?
To a great national crusade to make America great again.
Wow, I didn't know Reagan was the first one to say that. Damn, that would all make sense now. Okay.
His administration started to immediately attack much of the gains of the civil rights period. And a lot of it was the ways in which black communities and black people were framed.
In Chicago, they found a woman who holds the record. She used 80 names, 30 addresses, 15 telephone numbers to collect food stamps, Social Security, as well as welfare. Her tax-free cash income alone has been running $150,000 a year.
So black women were deemed welfare queens.
I'm not mad that she did that. Fuck it. We got people out here that be doing all type of tax frauds and all type of white collar crimes. They get to go on about their day. Shit, they able to go and be all type of politicians and presidents, all type of shit. She can't do her little thug thizzle. She can't get some little extra food stamps. Damn.
And the rhetoric against black males was this whole discussion around being tough on crime.
9 out of 10 Americans believe that the courts in their home areas aren't tough enough on criminals. And the cold statistics do demonstrate the failure of our criminal justice system to adequately pursue, prosecute, and punish criminals.
The political message mostly catered to a white backlash against some of the racial progress that we started to see as a result of the civil rights acts and laws. He's also responsible for implementing cuts that crushed black communities across the United States. So you had after-school programs, you had free programs to help, young black kids stay off the streets. So whether it was, learning how to play instruments, learning different arts and craft programs, learning how to act and sing, you had all of these programs in black communities across.
And you know what? The thing is, those programs are important. Like you said, you learning how to craft, learning how to sing, how to write. You finding out different interests that you wouldn't normally get if you didn't have that after school program and the opportunity to go there. You feel me? Like shit, I did all type of shit coming up. I played tennis, all type of stuff at that program. I ain't no tennis type of person, but I didn't know I liked tennis until I did that. I wouldn't have known. You feel me? Learned how to play the piano a little bit, all type of stuff, but it's like, you gotta have those programs, especially for people that's in impoverished areas or that's in the hood, that's in the ghetto, because there's people out there who will do the work. There's people out there who will do the work. Don't try to let them convince you that people don't care that what's going on in the community. There's people out there, but there has to be, they can't just do it for free, and that becomes a whole different thing. But it's just like, once you start cutting off after school programs and shit like that, and how that affects parents that gotta work, the mom and the dad both work, so they really need that after school it's so much shit, bro. It's so much shit, but most people don't really think about it because they never had to.
The United States that contributed significantly to the arts and the advancement of black communities and black people. And essentially all or much of these programs were slashed as part of Reagan's economic programming. And this happened all across the country. This was a national cut that my friends from different parts of the United States felt the same impact. And of course, this led to, the war on drugs, which essentially became a war on black America. I saw this with my own eyes. I saw our communities go from having recreational centers in our communities where we could go and we could, we could be busy and productive and use our talents to do certain things. And now when those no longer exist, all we really have now is the local corners and the local areas or the local parks where we could gather, but there's no infrastructure anymore. And so police started to target these communities and these places.
Today, cocaine and marijuana are found throughout our society from top to bottom. And that means corruption top to bottom and gang war violence.
And to think about it this way, we have many, if not all of the drugs, the illicit drugs that so many people were found in possession of are foreign grown substances. They don't grow anywhere within the United States, and they certainly don't grow in urban communities.
Okay.
Hello.
Right there you have.
But how they ending up there? How is this broke ass nigga from down the street able to get him this many pounds of this, that, and the third? Who does he know? How did he even get in contact with that person? All right. Hey, man. I'm trying to tell you, bro. They be doing they be doing so much shit, bro. You know how many generations this fucked up? Like, how many generations? Once that, bro, I'm telling you. But but let the white people, motherfuckers start doing fentanyl and meth. Oh my God, it's a crisis. Lord, help the kids. Oh my God. What about our people? Whole community, purposely. Oh my God, man. I'm trying to tell you, man, this whole American freedom and American dream shit, they don't tell you that only very few people get to live that dream. Very few. You feel me? And whatever dream that they selling you, it's not even up for sale. You feel me? That's the crazy part.
I have a sign that says, "Welcome to Elmdale's Block Club," but this is ridiculous. There's no sense in them even having a sign there. You got too many drug problems right here in this this one block.
Now, this lady that just walked out right here, that's standing on the porch. Now, she's a seller and a user.
So how did they land in predominantly black and urban communities, right? All at the same time. How did all of these drugs find their ways into black communities at a time when cuts were pervasive, at the same time that you had this mass militarization of police forcing?
Since 1981, federal funding for drug interdiction has tripled to over $1 billion. The government boasts of its victories and shows off the booty, but huge amounts of drugs continue to arrive.
At a time when black kids don't have any of the programming that they had just 5 or 10 years prior, and
right.
a lot of the job.
Hold on, Manny. Are you going down the line I think you're going down? Are you about to cook up, my kind sir? What are you saying?
Job opportunities are gone because the deindustrialization is in full bloom, which came with the flooding of our communities with these drugs. And then so you have the discrepancies in sentencing around powder cocaine because mostly white folks, Wall Street kinds of folks were mostly, engaged with powder cocaine, whereas poor communities and black communities were mostly engaging with crack cocaine, the rock cocaine. So you had this imbalance in sentencing. You had this complete difference in sentencing, even though it's essentially the same.
Shit, separate but equal drug sentencing laws. I'm in here for 500 grams of powder cocaine. You, 5 grams, 5 grams, 5 grams. Damn, that shit crazy. But I'm telling you, bro, these people are fucking in the head, bro. In the head. They make an effort. All right, all these laws and shit they put in place, man. I'm telling you, bro. This shit is so crazy, like being black in America, bro. Especially like being black and like knowing all this shit. It's like, damn, like, and you wonder why motherfuckers be like, yo, don't fuck with that government. Yo, why you think we so wary of cops? Look what y'all been doing to motherfuckers. These are people parents. People parents came up during this era. Scarred for life. They done probably seen aunties, uncles, cousins, brothers. One day they perfectly fine. The next day they strung out on crack. You feel me? And it's hella easy to find crack and cocaine in the hood, bro. What? I'm trying to tell you, man. Hey, bro. be grateful for where you at right now, bruh. It could have been worse.
Product.
Karen Garrison is the mother of twins, Lamont and Lawrence. In 1998, they were arrested in Washington and charged with conspiracy to sell cocaine.
Damn.
Lawrence was sentenced to more than 15 years in prison, Lamont to over 19.
Nobody actually cared if they were innocent or guilty, because everybody that knew them knew they were innocent. But when you talk to people that didn't know them, the first thing they kept saying is, well, why did they give them so much time?
One of the reasons the Garrison twins received such long sentences is because they were charged with selling cocaine in crack form rather than in powder. Federal law mandates a minimum 5-year sentence for intent to sell 5 grams of crack, which weighs the same as 2 pennies. But it takes 500 grams of powder cocaine.
Bro, what? Look at the comparison, though. 5 grams give you 5 years. 500 grams give you 5 years for cocaine. Damn. So what you're saying is it's our fault. We should have been doing cocaine because y'all was doing cocaine. So it's black people's fault for not doing cocaine. You know what? Our bad. You know what I'm saying? Our fault. You know, we could have, you know what I'm saying? That's on us. That's on us. Man, I'm telling you, bro. All this war on drugs and they use all these, at this point, all this shit is buzzwords, bro, to me. I'm not gonna lie. They act like they care about all this other shit. They act like they care about criminals, but they be letting pedos run wild. Act like they care about drugs, but they be out here partnering in drug kingpins and all type of weird shit. Act like they care about crime with the murder, people getting shot. I'm telling you, bro, your eyes do not lie, okay? And, you know, don't let them convince you to not believe yourself or to second guess yourself. Because once you start doing that, that's when you start playing their game. And they know all the rules, and you don't.
To trigger the same mandatory minimum.
I remember, for example, there was a police officer who would patrol our neighborhoods, and I'm talking about me as a young teenager. He would pull up in his police cruiser, and he would get on his microphone, and he would say to us, as we're all congregating in our neighborhoods, right, that we all were born and raised on, and he would say, okay, monkeys, okay, niggers, time to go home. And just casually, this is what he would say. This same particular cop, he would grab guys off the streets, and if they didn't have drugs on them, he would put them on them. If they didn't have a gun on them, he would put one on them. And then these guys would go away for long periods of time. And everybody that I know.
1350. 1350.
Every young black kid that I know from any of the major urban cities across the United States has an example like this.
Yeah, you run into my car, you can stop and talk to me, man. Hey, that's right, nigga, I got the handcuffs on too. Bitch raised mother.
In my car, I'd have shot you.
Yeah, I would have shot back too.
Yeah, would you? You're a killer at heart. Where's your gun?
Yeah, I'm a killer.
All right.
Somebody pushing me, man. What's wrong with you? Put hands off me.
And the level of dehumanization.
I think this video from like the 60s. I had seen this video like last week. I was watching it on my own little free time. I was like, damn. You know, it's crazy too. This not even a full video. All the little like side note, all like the slang and the like the shit he's saying, like motherfuckers, we still use that shit to this day.
And the level of dehumanization, the level of disrespect for us from in our neighborhoods, in our communities. And this is really what policing was like.
And last night, I tell you, to watch that thing on television as I did, to see those monkeys from those African countries, and they're still uncomfortable wearing shoes.
That's crazy.
Well, and then the tail wags the dog there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The tail wags the dog.
This is what that era,
they was talking crazy. They was really talking like we were the president saying that. But I'm not surprised. We have a pedo and that's our president. I'm not surprised, bro. Or at least he's close enough to them to know who the pedos are. So it's like, yeah, of course Reagan's gonna be referring to black people as monkeys. We have a president right now that's tied up into some type of pedo Epstein Island bullshit. it's like, you know, as time goes on, things never really change. You know, it's a new generation of new people that support this type of ideology and that type of mindset. It's a new set of bigots that's born every single day because they will be raised by bigots. But it's up to, you know, for them to do their own research, their own soul searching, and hopefully they turn to the right side. Hopefully they have a heart. Hopefully they have common sense, you know. But most people, I feel like, raised a bigot, they low-key probably, they just stay a bigot because it's easier that way, you know?
Reagan era ushered in for my generation and the generations after. And we see like today, if you look up statistics around, you know, who are the people that are exonerated, whose cases are being thrown out. It's overwhelmingly black men, black people who you're seeing that they're found out through DNA evidence that they didn't commit the crime. It's not because the system is just like correcting itself or, you know, being just or deciding to be just. It's just that you have cadres of lawyers. You have lawyers who are investing and trying to figure out, if you're lucky, who is in jail wrongfully. And then we're starting to see through the grace of good lawyers and good legal work, you're starting to see so many people having their sentences overturned.
Bro, really imagine that, bro. Motherfucker plant some drugs on you, plant a gun on you, go to jail for some years. Nobody believe in you. You can't afford no lawyer. You're going to take the public defender who most likely going to say, just take the deal, bro. Just take the deal. Like they offering you 5. You can knock out 5. 5 ain't too bad. Nigga, you not doing the 5 years. So it's like, bro, I'm telling you, bro. Wow, like, oh man, I can't even imagine. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Oh my gosh. I would have hatred in my heart from that day on. I'm not gonna lie. I would have hatred in my heart. What? You supposed to serve and protect, but you planning shit on me. But you gotta remember, that's what people have been allowing that forever. People have allowed that forever. And now people are surprised that ICE shooting niggas in the street. They've been letting untrained police officers beat on black people forever. You gotta have an untrained ICE agent shoot a white person. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. It's just a different person getting harmed this time. So, you know, it has everybody's attention. One time, they're like, okay, all right. 2 times? Back to back? All right, ICE, y'all ain't get the memo. We ain't supposed to get those people. We're supposed to get the other people. But you gotta remember, we inside this season. We staying inside. We in the crib. Okay? So the only ones that's outside are the ones that's not supposed to be getting hurt by the people that's gonna hurt them. So it's gonna look real. It's gonna look weird, y'all. I'm trying to tell you.
And then, you know, when you have the example of the term the welfare queen, which was a myth. But, you know, there were a lot of people in our communities who were on welfare. But you have to take this into context. You have to take the welfare system into context. Remember, this is on the heels of the civil rights legislation. And a big part of the civil rights legislation was the acknowledgement that black people have for centuries been legally disenfranchised. They were legally disenfranchised.
Legally.
And so the welfare system was an attempt to correct that error, to correct that wrong. And so 10, 15 years after black folks are using the welfare system, what happens is the welfare system is essentially contributing to the breakup of black families.
So she said, well, we doesn't lie the ADC mothers with boyfriend. And I couldn't understand that. So she left. When she left, well, then she come back to tell me that my case was denied. This is what happened. She come back to tell me that they had denied me, that I could not get on the aid.
Weeping and crying for someone to love.
In Cleveland and elsewhere, very little economic incentive exists for women to get off welfare.
They would like for you to go out and go to work or even seek part-time employment. But if you do this, then most of what you make is taken away from you.
And so this, in order to benefit from the welfare system, which is also coincides with deindustrialization, when all the manufacturing jobs are essentially being shipped offshored to places like China.
Damn, and they still trying to get the welfare off too. They still trying to cut that, even though by the numbers they got more people on it than we do, but they don't even care. That's what I noticed too. People would vote against someone else having the same thing they have when they need it also. Like what? Niggas came up on welfare. Niggas came up on Section 8. You feel me? And you expect me to just be like, nah, y'all don't need it. Just work harder. What? That's crazy. That's crazy. I can't understand that. But you know, people like to climb up and put a ladder behind them. You know, I guess people ideas change and their stances change, but it's like, I don't know, man. For certain stuff and certain topics and shit like that, it's like I feel like my mind's gonna stay the same because it plays such a crucial part in you becoming the person that you are. In the sense of you actually have food in your stomach, my nigga. You actually had nutrients to go to school the next day. Your stomach wasn't hurting because Section 8 and EBT came through for you, nigga. And if you never had Section 8 or EBT, be thankful. It's that simple. Be thankful that you never needed it. Be happy that you weren't the one that was on it. That had to do all the signing up and call the numbers and all that. You know what I'm saying? Niggas gotta eat. How you gonna want a civilization, a society of well-adjusted people, productive people, and they don't even have their basic needs met? Come on, man.
Talking about an entire industry that was shift off overseas. And this caused a lot of turmoil within black families. These are all products of the Reagan era economics.
Fucking Reagan,
we have to remember, this didn't happen in a vacuum. This is part of a connection. This is connected to the civil rights movement. Mm-hmm. This is connected to the people who fought for civil rights. And these were some of the remedies as a result of it. So Reagan was very intentional about unraveling and undoing so many of the civil rights.
They all are, bro. That's crazy, huh? See, that's the thing, right? Fight the civil rights so we can have us give us a leg up, give us something. You feel me? Y'all already made sure we started 500 yards back. You know what I'm saying? 400 years back. It's like, damn, we can't even have welfare without it being used against us. Bro, the more you know, the more you hate. I'm gonna keep it real.
Legislation and policies, and we're still suffering from these rollbacks. And even current presidents and every president since Reagan has been involved in rolling back civil rights.
And we will make America great again.
Ronald Reagan for president. Let's make America great again.
So today, if we look at rollbacks and the immigration policy, rolling back the Department of Ed, these are all civil rights era, industries or infrastructure that are being rolled back and attacked. But again, in order to understand these policies, we need to understand the history behind them. And the history behind them were fundamentally acknowledging a long history, hundreds of years of legal discrimination against black communities. This was the genesis for all of these policies that we're now starting to see roll back.
Word up, quick to shut it.
Shout out Manny for the video, brother. You did your thing. I learned something new. Fuck Reagan, by the way. And that's so crazy, bro. That's so crazy. Every time, these videos always remind me of, damn, they really was out here legally just stopping niggas' motion. And we have people out here that will look you dead in your face and tell you it didn't matter. It didn't have no effect. That was so long ago. It's like, bruh, come on, man. It's like there's some type of dissociation, some type of disconnect in their brain in which they either, it gotta be on purpose. It has to be. Unless they're just not there all the way, it has to be on purpose that they refuse to acknowledge the type of shit that they done. You feel me? And still do. But now they're doing a little more covert ways. They change the lingo up just enough so that you don't piece it together. But we got people out here that's gonna piece it together. You feel me? But it is what it is, man. Fuck Reagan. Fuck Donald Trump. He's gonna be up on my fuck you list soon. Well, he damn near top 3, top 2, top 3, to be honest. But it is what it is, man. I'm gone. Peace.